Hey everybody, Rick to Rick's Adventures. This video is about my secrets to success that I'm going to share with you. So stay tuned and let's get on with the video. Hey guys, this is one of those wing it videos. Don't have a teleprompter, don't have a script. Just wanted to talk to you guys about some things that I've been thinking about since I've been back here in the USA. I wanted to share with you what hit me as kind of had my epiphany whenever I was out a few days ago, and Tia and I went out of a morning to go on a morning run. And I was thinking to myself how happy I was now. I'm about to turn 65, and I am just feeling really good about life and everything else. And as I was thinking this, I was looking back on my past and how I felt about life at that period of time. And it started making me really get in depth in my own head. I started really diving in deep, which is a scary freaking thought. But, how did I feel about things in life in the past? How do I feel about it now? And I can tell you that right now I'm the happiest I've ever been in my entire life, even though the majority of my life has passed me by and I'm on the downhill side. So I wanted to share with you some of the things that I've come about. There'll probably be some other videos that'll branch off of this that'll get into more detail, but one of the things, and I know you guys have heard this before and you're going to think, oh yeah, it's the same old BS, but I want you to really think hard about this, and that is, it is truly in your head. It's in your head when you wake up of a morning, whether you're happy or whether you're not. If you wake up of a morning and the first thing you do is start, I've been around people and they're just very negative about everything. And I've seen it especially since I've been back in the States, probably because I understand the language and I don't understand when Thai people do this. But whenever I'm here, I see some people that I know, and God bless them and I love them to death, but they are the most chronic complainers that I've ever seen. They could complain from the time they get up that the coffee's not done, that their drive to work, that somebody slowed them down, that work sucks, that this sucks. Everything is always bad. They're talking about the division in politics, their financial status, just everything is bad. And, if you get up, we are a product of our environment. I'm sure you guys have heard that before. We're all products of our environment. So if you get up and you surround yourself with all of this negative crap all the time, and you let it get in your head, guys, and that's what you think, and you think of the world as being that way, you get fooled with all this propaganda bullshit, and you follow this, and let it affect your life, I guarantee you, you're going to be freaking miserable. And that's one of my secrets that I've found is I've finally learned after all these years, I know, slow learner, but I finally learned that, I don't give a shit what is going on around me. As long as I can live my life, and if there's something wrong that I don't like, instead of bitching and complaining about it, just either if it's something you can avoid, avoid it. And if it's not, and it's something that's in your life, just fix it. There is nothing that says you can't fix or repair everything that you feel like is negative. If you're tired of the politics, well, don't turn on the TV. Don't listen to the bullshit. Go vote, do your duty as a U.S. citizen, but other than that, don't listen to all the crap coming from left or right. Just move forward. Make your own educated decision the best you can, and believe me, you're not going to change the world. You can make a difference by voting along with everybody else, but you yourself being miserable over the outcome of things doesn't do a darn thing for you, except make your life suck. So that's one of the first things to do is just keep remembering that it's in your head. Whenever you wake up, what I do, I started realizing when I got up, I thought about my friends that had died, when my father died, my mother died, the things that they had went through, the stresses in their life, all of the battles they had, doing the, be it what you want to call the American dream or whatever it is, struggling for all of these things. And whenever they became ill and sick with either cancer or dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever it may be, the only thing that was important to them is I listened to them say how they wish they had their health back. If they could get up and they could do it over and they could have their health back, they would not be bitching about any of this petty crap that goes on. My dad used to always tell me, if it's not going to affect you 6 months from now, who gives a shit? Forget about it. It's not worth being angry, mad, upset, or stressed over things you have zero control about. Instead, try being thankful for the things that you do have control over. You do have control when you get over, and you're lucky enough if you've got a roof over your head and you've got that cup of coffee to drink. I feel extremely lucky. I get up, T and I go out for a run of a morning. My health is still good at my age. We have food to eat. We have a roof over our head. We get to travel some. We get to do a lot of things that there's a lot of people in this world that either they can't do it or they choose not to do it. So that'll lead into the next thing I'm going to tell you. So just remember, one of the first steps is don't let this crap get in your head. Keep yourself in a positive manner. If you're healthy, even if you're not 100% healthy, if you get up and you feel halfway decent, it's better than laying in a hospital dying or laying in a hospital with dementia or being in a rest home. If you wake up every day in your own home, you have food in your mouth and a roof over your head, think of yourself as being blessed. So with that said, let's move on to one of the next things I think about. All right, guys, let's go into what I think number 2 is something important to think about. And that's going to be, don't be a sheep. Don't be a follower. Don't be the person that thinks just because this person does something the way they're doing it, that's how you've got to do it. If people look at you and they say, well, nobody else does that, why are you doing that? Who gives a shit? Do it how you want to do it. And don't let naysayers keep you down. And the reason I bring this up is because a lot of people will look at me and they go, oh my gosh, how are you living such a life? You've got, you're a beautiful Thai girl and you travel to Thailand and you stay there so many months out of the year, and then you come back to the USA and you travel here and you get to do all these things. I don't see how you get to do that. And they act like it's some big phenomenal feat. And it's not. It's if a person wants to do something and you really want to do something, you don't have to listen and be a follower and do what everybody else says is the norm. Oh, well, I can't do that. I've got to stay home. I've got to go to my job every day, my 8 to 5. I've got to, come home and do all of this and, take care of everything. Well, you don't. And you don't have to do that even if you have a family. I know of families over in Thailand that's finally got tired of things in whatever country they were from, be it USA, Canada, UK, wherever it may be. And they finally said, you know what? I'm tired of this crap. I'm going to do something different. And here's why you can do that if you don't listen to all the propaganda and the crap. People say, oh, that's so expensive and all this. Well, it might cost a little money to get a flight, but let me give you, what my perspective is, what I've learned, especially over the last few years. And if I had known this, I would have been working at it a lot harder. The internet's opened up all kinds of doors. I've had several e-commerce businesses years and years and years ago, whenever we were still in text-based, development. And, there are so many now then jobs that you can be a digital nomad. And if you're too young to be able to retire like what I am, I know guys that are right now over there in Thailand that work with their companies that are in some other country, and they work their shift and do their thing, and then they're living for approximately a third of the cost in Thailand or Vietnam or wherever it may be over in Southeast Asia. And the facts are just the facts. Your money goes a lot farther overseas. So here's my tip to you guys that want to do something like this. Instead of working your ass off here, let's take me for example, or anybody else in the USA. So let's say you're working your butt off over here and you're, making, I don't know, $30,000, $40,000 a year. You're in, what would be considered a lower wage rate for what some people are making, say, out in California, Silicon Valley, or whatever. But that aside, let's say you're making, say, 30K. And over in Thailand, that is really, truly, depending on how you live, that's pretty much like having a $70,000 a year job over there. And $70,000 a year in the USA, you can live on it, and you can't be extravagant, but you can live on it depending on where you live and how you live. In Thailand, you can live damn good. And I know you can. I'm getting ready to travel over to Vietnam. I know that the cost of living is approximately the same in all of these Southeast Asian countries, be it the Philippines, be it Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, Thailand, any of these. Of course, Singapore, some of those places are a little bit higher, but they still, for me, when I do the comparison to here in the USA, beat the hell out of it here, cost of living. Absolutely 100% wipe it out. Since I've been back here and I go to the grocery store, I'm totally in shock all the time at the cost. I see how far my money goes here, which isn't far at all compared to what it goes whenever I'm overseas. I actually live better and save money whenever I'm overseas. So don't go for all the propaganda shit. Don't go for, oh, third world country, or I can't do this, or how can I do this or that. Man, there are a lot of ways you can do it. There's all kinds of jobs that are digital nomads. And the nice thing is now then in Thailand, they've got a digital nomad visa. And if you show that you're working, be it YouTube channel, e-commerce, as long as you're working in your country or you've got something going on in your home country, you can't work in Thailand as an employee because then you're taking a Thai's job from them. But if you're working as a true digital nomad in some other country in a lot of different areas, you can get now then a visa that's good for 5 years. And it's good for 6 months whenever you go in at a time. You have to leave the country after 6 months for maybe a 1, 2, 3 day run. Then you can come back. Or you can leave, after 3 months and then come back. But the point is it's good for 5 years. So now then you're not doing some of these other visas like I had that were only good for a year at a time. And the year at a time ones I was having to check in just nonstop. If I travel someplace, they always look at your passport at the hotel, take copies of it, because the government in Thailand actually tracks where immigrants go because they want to know. So, because if you do something wrong, they want to be able to throw your ass out of the country, which is how it should be. And but once you've got your DTV, they run such a heavy background check on you through the embassy. And if you haven't gotten any trouble, then you can come and go as you please. And whenever you check in on your 6-month period, in that time, if you've done anything wrong, then, you're going to get exported. You're going to get thrown out of the country, or deported, I should say, and you're going to be gone in history. So, you get something like that and you're working, you could work over there. Your money could go 3 times as far without any doubt in my mind. And I mean, your quality of life is going to be so much better. It really, truly is. Now, while there's some things that some of these countries may be lacking, a lot of it's not really an infrastructure. You might see differences that are more cultural, and it's just things you learn to accept whenever you're in somebody else's country. I mean, that's just how it is, and so whenever you go and you see these things, if you will keep an open mind and adapt to that culture a little bit, you will be amazed at whenever you're paying, like, say, $400 or $500 a month to live in a condo that's set in walking distance to a beach, a white sand beach with blue water. Show me where you can do that in the States. I mean, hell, right now I was watching something that said that places out in San Francisco could be $2,000-$3,000 for a studio setting in San Francisco. Now think about that with what's going on over there. Look up some things on the internet, see if you'd want to pay that, or if you'd rather pay, let's say, let's go high side. Let's go $400 to $800 a month and live in a condo with an ocean view and be able to walk out and have a gymnasium in that condo, infinity pool, and walk out and go down, hang out on the beach and have restaurants all over and, have a good time. I think I know it's a no-brainer what I'd choose. And I think it is for you too. So you guys, really, I want you to look into that. Don't be a sheep. Don't think you have to follow the rules that are over here and set, because In my opinion, call it conspiracy theory if you will, but I think that a lot of times the government feeds you with all of this BS because one big reason they want to keep you here because they want to keep your tax revenue. The government's about taking your money. That's just all there is to it. And if they lose you and the money you spend and you fuel into the economy for them, then what do? They just have to come up with ways to try to tax heavier or whatever it may be. So don't be a sheep and try to investigate things. Look at things with an open mind. Take a trip. Go 2-3 weeks, but remain and have an open mind and realize there always is that honeymoon period, but really sit down and, put your pencil and paper to it and write out what you're paying now versus what you'll be paying there. Research how many jobs there are online. If you're computer literate or even if you're not, YouTube makes it anymore, start you an e-commerce business. Get things going, rolling for yourself. There's so many things out there that you can do to earn what would be considered an extremely good income over someplace in Southeast Asia. So that's my second tip. Again, I'll reiterate it. I've said it several times, but I want to really press it into you. Don't be a sheep. Don't be a follower. Stand on your own 2 feet. Realize your ideas could be just as good as the next guy's. So with that said, let's go into the next area of topic. All right, guys, the next thing that I want to press, it kind of goes along with what we just discussed in a way, but don't chase a dollar. And when I say that, I mean, we have to have money to live. We have to work. I was talking about having, e-commerce business, working online as a digital nomad, that type of thing. But what I'm saying is don't waste your time thinking to yourself, I've got to be rich. I'm trying to make, millions of dollars, because I can tell you that's not going to make you happy. And you might think it is, and you might go, oh, if I had all this money, I'd just be so damn happy and I'd run out and I'd buy all this shit and everything else. Well, I can tell you from experience, and not experience of being rich, because I'm far from that, but from the experience of chasing the dollar just to buy crap. And I mean that genuinely and from the bottom of my heart. Stuff doesn't mean anything. Once you actually go someplace and you see what it's like to wake up of a morning, have a good attitude, not listen to bullshit, realize that you can go do some things if you're living someplace else or you're working for yourself and you're your own boss, and you go, this is pretty damn cool. It's kind of like whenever you pay off some big debt and you feel like this big monkey's off your back and everything. Well, this is the same thing. It truly is. Whenever you realize that who cares if this lady's carrying a designer purse or this guy's driving a $100,000, US Ford diesel truck, who gives a shit? What difference does it make? Because it's going to end up in the salvage yard. It's going to end up in the landfill. All of that stuff is just crap. Me personally, I worked my butt off at business and as a consultant and doing so many other different types of things. And I did it because I was caught in this loop of thinking I had to have, the nicer house or the farmland or build this house and then buy these kind of cars and have race cars and have an airplane and have all of this kind of stuff. And, I was never so relieved whenever I got rid of that shit. I can't even explain to you how much it means. I've been whittling down things that I've got to minimize as much as I can. I sold a really nice shop house. You guys may have seen another video that I'd finished up, sitting on some acreage. The taxes on it were terrible. The upkeep, I was always out there mowing because I'm so anal about, my home looking good. The house I'm in now was the one that I had actually bought to redo and flip. And it's a little 2-story, 100-year-old house. It's been redone. And I'm in it. Don't have any debt. And I got rid of that farm and all that work and high taxes and insurance that were just unbelievable. And I feel so much relief being in this little 2-bedroom upstairs, downstairs house sitting in this little town that it's unbelievable. It's just a no stress, no pressure deal. And it's nice. I like it. It's warm. It's comfortable. I redid it and made it good, and it didn't cost a fortune. And it doesn't cost a fortune to keep and maintain, so I've got a hub in the United States. When you think about that deal with people, always wanting money, 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 money. I mean, think about it, guys. Look at how many of these big, famous movie stars that are making millions and millions of dollars. Look at all the shit they're in all the time. Look at how they're either turning into a drug addict or they're running around injecting shit in their face all the time to look a certain way. Or people are, chasing them around, the paparazzi, or, all of this drama, 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 and nonsense all the time. And how could that be a fun life? I cannot even imagine getting up and going someplace and having people take pictures of me and saying, oh my gosh, look how fat he's got, because right now nobody gives a shit whether I get fat or not, or whether I get skinny or not, or saying, oh, look at the wrinkles on his face, you can tell, or look at the injections she's got in her mouth, and they just struggle all the time with life. And these are wealthy people. I mean, these people have a lot of money for what they do, in my opinion, which is little for the amount they're getting paid. But think about that, guys. All of the problems they have. Think of the politicians. I mean, they're always being indicted. They're always being put under investigation. They're always, struggling, and they're fighting, and they're doing whatever they can because they feel like they've just got to have all this money and all this power. You know what? They can freaking have it. I get up in the morning and wake up, and the first thing I do is walk in, no stress, have a couple cups of coffee. Tia gets up, we go get on our running clothes, we go over to a park, do a jog for 5K around the park. We leave there, excuse me, go over to a tennis court, get a little more exercise. She times it and we play tennis, or I should say we knock the ball back and forth, get a little more running in for 30 minutes. Then we go to the gym and she practices yoga and I lift weights for about an hour. And then we come back to the house and I go out and work on the old Jeep. I think you guys may have seen on some photos, work on it a while, come in, maybe set up. I've been working a lot on this studio here, trying to get it in shape for YouTube. And by that time, I don't like to eat late because then I don't sleep well. And we will go out, fire up a pellet grill, cook a steak, sit out on the porch or sit inside, have a beer, and get ready, watch a movie, and go to bed. And I tell you what, I absolutely love, absolutely love that life. It is the easiest thing and the most happiness that I've had in a long time. So what the point is, which I'm sure you're getting the gist of it because I keep harping on it, is don't chase the money, guys. I mean, just think of what you can do that makes you enough to make you happy. Be it if you're okay in your own country, in your own home, that's great. But if you want to travel somewhere, don't think you have to get rich to do it. You absolutely don't have to do that. And if you want to start out and do something like that, save every penny you can and get yourself, if you're a young person, excuse me, allergies been killing me. If you're a young person, build yourself up, anywhere from 10 to 30,000 bucks in the bank, let's say. And then find you some digital job or set you up an e-commerce business. Look them up on YouTube. You can do affiliate marketing. You can do print on demand. You can do e-commerce on your own. There's so many ways to make money online. And get yourself a side hustle rolling. And then if you've got that money in the bank, 30, 40,000 bucks, and once you see that side hustle start making you some money and revenue, which it shouldn't take long to have an extra 1,000, 2,000 a month coming in, take off. Go whatever country you want to. Go down into Mexico, find you a nice place you like. You'll be surprised how cheap it is. Go in there, stay, and figure up your budget and go, well, I've got X number of dollars, and I could live here even if I didn't make another penny for 6 months. So that should tell you, you wouldn't be doing that where you're at least not here. So you could go do it, give it a test run, see what you think while you're doing it. Don't get lazy and keep working your side hustle. And you might be surprised. You might see that, wow, this is a lot easier than I thought it was. And I'm more at peace because nobody bothers me. I'm my own boss. I don't have to worry about somebody saying, oh, Joe there, he's 60 years old now or 55, and he's been working for us 30 years. And this happens. I've seen this many times, this analogy. So they sit there and see the guy, he's been with the company 30 years, he's a supervisor somewhere, and the next thing you know, they have some younger guys come in and they can pay him a little less. So what do? Joe thinks he's a good company man and been with him forever. They don't give a shit about Joe. What they do is they try to shit can him, get him out of the place, and if they can't, they demote him or they try to make him feel so minimized that it's demoralizing to him mentally of what they're doing with all the other people that's known him all this years, and where he was once in this highly respected position, all of a sudden they're saying, no, 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 you're down here now. And I know at least 4 or 5 men that happened to throughout my lifetime. I've seen it happen. I've seen how it affected them mentally. I've seen how it affected them physically. And I actually think it played a role in their death in a lot of them, just from the stress and the mental anguish of it. But if you're working for yourself and you're your own boss and you're figuring out these things on your own, then you're responsible for your actions. You don't have to worry about somebody else coming up and canning you. If you fail, it's because you failed. It's not because somebody come up and decided they're going to throw you out like a piece of trash. So that was my next point. Don't be afraid to do this stuff, guys. You can do it. Go out, look at it, just evaluate it, due diligence, be smart, and take a look, see what you can come up with. And I'm sure that if I could do it, and I see all these other guys do it, I have no doubt in my mind that you could do it yourself. So let's move on to the last topic. All right, guys, to summarize this up, what I think is one of the most important things you can do if you want to have a happy and successful life is invest in yourself. I hope you make it to this point in the video, because this is probably the most important thing out of all of it, is to invest in everything about yourself. And when I say that, I mean if you want to be successful and be able to do different things in life, then you need to invest, be it in your education, and I don't necessarily mean going to college, because I went and I think it was pretty much a waste. I mean invest. You can learn so many things. If you want to be a programmer, I learned to program without going to college. If you want to be a graphic artist, you can learn it. The internet and YouTube has opened up so many things that you can learn. And in the long run, I know that there may be some jobs out there that say, oh, we want something with a degree, but that's my point. That's the places you don't want to be tied to. Why do you want to be tied to some place that wants that when you might have some of the absolute and some of the best, let's say, software development companies were started or they're being run by people that have no degree in computer sciences. They were self-taught programmers or people that got in the get-go, and they just found what they liked doing and they learned it. They had a passion for it and they learned it. And I know that's cliche, but it is true. If you like doing something, invest in yourself. Don't listen to bullshit from other people. Don't listen to, you got to go to college, you got to do this. You can learn all this stuff. Instead of that money you spend on college, let's say you want to be a content creator, invest in some equipment. Invest in a decent laptop, a decent small camera. You don't have to have state-of-the-art stuff. Invest in more research and studying for what works. It's not the equipment that's going to make it. It does help to have decent equipment, but that doesn't mean you have to have $10,000 or $20,000 worth of stuff. You can get, decent laptops anymore for, $500, $600, $800. You can get MacBooks, refurbished ones for a good price. Get you a decent little camera. I do a lot of recording on a DJI Action 3 camera. I do a lot just with my iPhone. I did invest in some microphones, which I did like that. It helped the audio, or it seemed to for me. In other words, invest in what you do. Invest in your own mental state, invest in your happiness, invest in thinking. Sit and truly think, what is it that would make me happy? And, don't fall in the money pit, but just think, is it really money that makes me happy, or would I be happy if I could travel? Would I be happy if I didn't travel and I had just a little studio and I was an artist and I was doing my paintings and selling enough to make a living? Would I be happy as a content creator? Would I like to have a little shop where I built cars or motorcycles? You don't have to do something with the intent that I've got to become a millionaire off of it. You've got to do things with the intent on being happy. And lastly, your health. Keep your health up. Try to eat well, exercise, try to do things that keep yourself healthy, because with good health comes good mental state. And with good mental state, that's whenever things seem to roll for you. And lastly, if you've got any circle of friends, successful people always hang out with successful people. So don't hang out with people that are troublemakers, that are naysayers, that are negative. You'll notice the biggest part of them, if you hang around with somebody that's really negative all the time, they don't have shit. They don't have anything. They don't have a good life. They don't have a decent place to live. And that's because that's what they are. They're a product of their environment, which is going back to what I said in the beginning. You are a product of your environment. If you surround yourself with successful, happy people, I will guarantee you 100% you too will be a happy and successful person. So with that said, I'm going to wrap this thing up. Sorry it's been a while since I've been around. I've been trying to get this studio. Ti, I've been in the USA for a few months, so I've been wanting to show her around. But I'm going to get back online and start producing some more stuff. I really hope you guys enjoy it. Please do share these things, like them, subscribe, all that good stuff. It is growing, and I really appreciate it when you do it. And leave me comments. Let me know if you'd like to hear videos about specific topics. And lastly, the channel is with the Excite channel. It's Rick's Adventures, so it's not just going to be about Thailand. I'm going to throw in other different things in here and mix it up with adventures in the USA, adventures whenever I go over into Laos, different parts of the country, even just adventures of getting the old Jeep going, which I'm going to turn into the Rick's Adventure vehicle in the USA for traveling and experience. So give me the ideas of what you'd like to see. If you want to see a Rick's Adventure on what I think are some of the best brands of whiskey to sip on or whatever, let me know, because I do this for fun. I do it for your entertainment. I do it for my mental state to keep me happy and keep me doing something that I enjoy. So this is Rick with Rick's Adventures. I'll see you guys soon. Take care, everybody.